First thing on the agenda is approve sewer and sewer district transfer.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Bernie? Any discussion on it? Fred, anything? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Number 2 is adopt equalization rates.
So moved.
Second.
Bernie?
They're state rates that we just
Right.
anyway.
Yeah. Can't do much about it.
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Next one is approved contract with the town of Stark for assessment services.
So moved.
Second.
Bernie?
I like it.
Is there any discussion on that one? I think it'll be good because I think Stark down there and the equalization rates.
This is renewal, right?
No, this should be new. I
This is
think.
new?
Yes, this is a new township.
I think the possibility here is they may actually eventually add on to the three township consortium, which would be a good thing for everybody concerned, I think.
Yeah.
But this is at the same rates we've charged everybody else historically.
Correct.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approve record management grant through county clerk's department and amend the budget based on it.
You want to do number 4 first, Pat?
What's that? Oh, you know what I do is
We don't want
I start checking. Oh. You're fired. Yeah, number 4.
So moved.
Second.
Pat, would you explain why we do this?
Yeah, I'll let Bernie or Jim explain it better.
Yeah, several, Helen, are, I'm looking through the list here. The whole first page is exempt properties. The second page, the first one's exempt county property. The one in Ohio was a double assessment. I'm sorry, all 3 of them in Ohio were double assessments.
Where's that come from? Them telling us I don't owe you?
That's usually, a lot of that, absolutely. There's all different ways that that could get caught, but that's probably the best way that it does get caught.
And usually what happens is the property owner catches the thing. They tell them, pay the taxes, we'll hash it out, and then we'll make a refund of those taxes too.
And the total was $5,445.
And that, yeah, right. It's usually just bookkeeping errors of all the parcels in Herkimer County over a calendar year. And they have to reassess it back on the township that made the error to begin with. So it has to go back on that township's county
But
tax.
the error, well, it's not the homeowner's error, the error has to be funded by the homeowner to get it back?
99% of the time, just to correct the rule.
That's an adjustment.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Now number 5, approve records management grant through county clerk's department and amend the budget. Motion?
So move.
Dutch? Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Number 6 is to approve the contract with a physical therapist for the preschool program. We have a motion on that?
So move.
Dutch and Dennis. Is there any questions on this?
This is a mandated preschool education program,
Yes.
and we have to have this.
Yes.
And this is a new physical therapist.
What is it, Mr. Chairman?
Did I just say all in favor? Yeah.
No, you didn't.
You won't know with it?
Do you have a question on this?
I just want to clarify, even though it's a physical therapist, it's at the same rate we agreed to for the former physical therapist.
Correct.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Number 7 is approved budget amendment to the IDA. And that Jim please.
That's the Orioles, $416,000 going to the Oriole Foods from this federal to state CDBG money.
Motion.
So
Give me
moved.
motion, Bernie second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Number 8, proposal for workman's comp administrative services.
Our contract with Benetech runs out at the end of the year. I've talked to Tina Panici. They're offering a 2-year agreement to continue to be our third-party administrator for workers' comp for 2014 and 2015. If you remember, they administer both our new county standalone plus the old abandoned plan that's in runoff. They did both. For 2014, for the old plan, they're keeping the rate flat at $395 per claim for indemnity and $125 flat for medical-only claims. And they would also keep that flat for 2015. And there's been no increase in that since 2009. For our county standalone, they're offering a 3% increase in 2014 and a 3% increase in the fee 2015. So for 14, it'd be $22,584, and for 2015, $23,225. They do an outstanding job for us. They treat our money as if it were their own, and I would recommend that we do one.
So moved.
Second.
Question.
So we have Bernie. Yeah,
The contract that we're referencing the 3% increase on, when was it originally scoped and priced? That we looked for any competition at all? How long ago?
We've been with Benetech since 2006, and the last time we went out for prices, I'm going to say was, I think we got some prices 3 or 4 years ago.
And just on the flat, on the old plan, when we're paying per case, so there's no flat fee that we're paying at all, we're paying per
claim.
claim.
And that's only going to go down, not
Right,
go up.
so it is increasing each and every year. Right. And the rate that
why
they're,
would-
it's because the number of claims, we do buyouts, right?
So the claims are going down.
That's what I'm saying, they're going,
Oh, you said
I meant
increase.
only increasing the number of claims going down, okay, contra,
Yeah.
that's what I meant.
Didn't come out that way, so.
All right, thank you for clarifying that, Mr. Chairman. All right, no, I'm good with that, I'm good with it, thank you.
Yeah, these folks do a great job, and wish we had them from the beginning, as Mr. Wallace just said. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Proposal for a GASB 45 report.
No, that's Stephen.
Oh, that's Steve.
Yeah, as you recall, every 2 years, we have to do a GASB 45 report. That's the accounting rules that we have to calculate out what our post-retirement benefits are. Basically, it's health insurance. That's the only thing we offer in retirement. We have to do that every other year, and that's due up at the end of this year. The company that's done our last 2 is Aquarius Capital. They've done them both for $4,900, and they said they would do the next one won't increase the fee, it'd be $4,900. They've done a very good job for us. I'd recommend that it's something we have to do. I'd recommend that we stay with them.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Bruce. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Now, the next one is to approve a position in the budget office. We've been notified from Bernie that he's going to be retiring in April. We've discussed this, Jim and I, and Bernie and Mr. Bono, and the feelings are that we bring somebody in as soon as we can, fill in that position, at a salary of $45,000. That way it'll give us ample time for somebody to be able to get up and ready to do it. Obviously, we'll advertise, that's the plan, right, to advertise for the position.
Correct.
When's the tentative date to fill the position? After we ever.
When are you looking to retire?
Well,
Well, we're looking to do it yesterday then.
okay,
Oh,
right,
to fill it?
to fill it.
To fill it now, yeah.
I mean,
Best
are we
best probably
budget,
would be mid-November.
mid-November?
If you guys say yes, and we go through all the process that we go through, that would be, and somebody has to give a notice out
Right,
there.
right, right.
And our best case scenario would be mid-November.
Would be 6 weeks from today,
Best case.
best case scenario.
If it got approved today, it got
So
approved by the
so
full.
is there money
legislature.
enough in Bernie's budget to go from mid-November to the end of the year?
We'll find money within budgets to
Okay.
do it.
There's not a civil service thing for this, this is an appointment from the legislation? That's a question.
It would be a competitive position because all new positions are competitive. However, you can do a temporary appointment for 6 months if the intent is the position will not continue beyond that. But we can do a temporary appointment without an exam.
It's not our intention to just do somebody temporarily and have them go, is it? So what would be the?
No, for that position will
Oh, I see
go
what you're
away
saying.
within
Oh,
6
that,
months.
is the current position competitive? Okay, that's what I meant,
First of all, I want to thank Bernie for giving us a heads up this early in the process, because he actually hasn't given us any more than 2 weeks' notice. So I appreciate the heads up this early in the process, Bernie.
Is that a motion, did you say?
Yes.
Is there a second to that?
okay. I have another question.
Second.
Kurt?
What did you do to arrive at the 45,000? What research did we do, or,
Just look within our salary schedule.
and where does it come in?
It's about, with that position, it's about $13,000 lower,
Than we're currently,
paying the director.
the base for the director?
Yes.
Or what we're paying the director?
No, the base for the director.
So are we suggesting we're gonna bring a position in at $13,000 less than the base of a budget director, and we're gonna bring them in as a what? What are we calling it? A deputy
Yes.
budget?
Deputy budget officer.
And we're gonna recruit somebody, are we having any idea or any discussion that this will stay at a $45,000 position, or what is it we're doing?
I
In
would
terms
hope
of
that-
planning for the long term?
I would hope, our intention within staff is that that would go up in the 50s.
Will our recruitment of prime candidates be impacted by having it at a 45,000 when the position itself would necessarily warrant? How much more did you say, Jim?
Up 13,000, it's 58 and change.
I wonder, the field of candidates that will hopefully be gainfully employed with an experience-based position, to come for 45,000, we may be limiting our position. And if we're talking about funding it through, this year through December, it might be hard for you to find the money, but I'm wondering why we would take it down so much, appreciably lower than what we would expect the individual to be qualified for. Or would you change the base and have an incremental situation that as they gain more experience, they gain more when they get the position? I would hope that we would get a broad spectrum of applicants.
Well, our thought is once the, position becomes open, that person will be taking that position at a higher salary.
And that's the kind of commitment you'd be giving on an interview?
Well, I can't speak for everybody, but.
Well, that's what I'm wondering now. If we're asking you to advertise at 45,000, is there any kind, or would you be looking for a commitment from this legislature that if the candidate you chose was doing a good job, then that he or she would have a commitment for that? I just question when we put an ad out there and we start searching, unless we already have somebody in mind that we know would come for 45,000. If we don't have that, then to have the broad, the broad base in our community of 45,000.
You know we're going to struggle. I mean, the local business administrators are all over $100,000 and do maybe half the work.
So then why have this so appreciably lower than what we expect?
It's within our salary schedule.
It's not, right?
I believe it is.
But you advertise it
For
with
that
a
person
salary.
to come on and the duties they'll be doing for those 6 months, I think the
You put a window on
45,000 is
scale.
It's appropriate reimbursement
within our structure.
without a commitment of a higher salary once
With a commitment at a higher salary.
Well, how can you give that commitment if we don't sanction it? That's my point, Jim. I don't have any problem with that.
Because we're gonna.
We don't know what the legislature will be next year, so there's not a lot
Well,
of.
but we're
Okay,
gonna-
that's an excellent point.
We're gonna budget, obviously, for the higher position, the higher pay.
I think maybe, can you make a motion for $20,000 for every department head then? So we can be competitive?
No, I wasn't suggesting
You understand
that. I wasn't suggesting that at all. I'm
No,
suggesting.
Well, that's the issue.
Well, again,
That's a
in-house,
real- that's
let's
gonna-
face it, if we have an
Ellen, that's
in-house
gonna come.
candidate,
That's
if we
gonna
have an
come
in-house
someday.
candidate, you're establishing a $45,000 base, and then they'll get longevity on that salary, however many years they've been with the county. So I'm just talking about a broad reach out to see, where we're not ignoring people in-house that may well be
No, we're
qualified.
hoping we get people from the outside, no question about it.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
We're hoping we get people
Get
from the
somebody
outside.
You know,
Thank you.
there's no thought process on who it could be, because technically, if there was, we could just bring him in and ask the legislature to approve that person. So we're looking for
And I believe the search we've done for auditors over the last couple of years, we had tremendous candidates, and we'd be hopeful that some of those people would be interested.
This Is this Bernie's selection as department head to choose his deputy? Or is it gonna be
I would hope-
committees or
I would hope that
everybody's?
it would be some kind of mixed bag done, because we've never done this before.
Right. Okay.
Between Bernie and the chairman of the committee,
Mr. Chairman?
that's how he says fit.
I mean, one other question, I mean, the letter states it's for budget officer position, but is it purchasing agent also?
There's a lot of stuff in there.
Okay.
We can ship. see if we
And could the resolution actually read that the position be abolished in 6 months without another resolution of this legislature to continue it?
Absolutely. After that April 30th.
Right, yeah, yeah.
I appreciate Dennis's question because then it hits me. If you're hiring this individual through whatever process, be it with Bernie's and Mr. Billings and perhaps the chairman of this committee, and you're hiring them with the intent that they should be the department head, generally the department head would be an individual who would come before the committee and the interview process would be available to all of us. I would strongly encourage, although I don't have a vote on this committee, I would strongly encourage that this interview be a committee process, because you're talking about an individual who will be a department head in the end. And then those of us who like to sit in on those and observe, then we will.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Number 11, we have to go into executive session, and normally we do just the committee with this, so I'd like to ask that we have a motion in regards to going into executive session with committee only, and the committee can go into here, into there.
Mr. Chairman?
Now, I'd like,
the reason?
I'd also like Steve and Rob to stay. This is
The reason for the executive session?
Personnel agreement.
number 11.
I know, but you have to say publicly what the reason is.
Well, it's a personnel issue.
And it has to be more than that, sir.
Harassment.
There's a harassment.
And the rest of the legislature is excluded?
That's what we've done in the past.
We have not. I've sat in on harassment complaints, sir. I've sat in on grievances from the unions and things like
That's
that.
different. Grievances and stuff are different. We've always tried to keep harassment complaints.
This particular one, I think, is well known.
I don't know. Okay, we're in executive session. Jim?
Second by Dennis.
Seconded by Dennis to come out of executive session.
11:24. Okay.
All in favor of coming out of executive session?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Is there anything more for Ways and Means?
Yes.
We're going to be looking at October 11th to start the budget process.
What departments will you be doing then?
I don't know if are we going to be doing certain deposits?
Well, we're gonna, Bernie and I were gonna try to grab Pat today, to be honest with you. I asked him for 5 minutes to see how we wanted to proceed.
Is there I do have a question, because at the meeting before last, there was a conversation about doing budgets a little differently this year, and I wanted to more fully understand what that process was going to be. I mean, when you had the budget meetings, the departments come in, there's something, a greater role of, I don't know, if it was the committee chairman or the committees themselves. I'd just like to appreciate how we're doing it.
Well, we've had Jim and Bernie go through the entire budget.
Which they always did, though, didn't they?
Yeah, but not to the scope that they've had this year. There's just been so much that has to be dealt with. So I asked that we get something to look at based on what they've come up with.
An overall budget?
An overall budget. And then I'm hoping that we can get them prior to the meeting. So everybody can have a copy.
We think we're there. We just
So
have
everybody can, and now, what would happen in regards to people being able to pick that up? So they can see, because I think October 11th is just 10 days away. or something.
Yes, next following Friday.
And I know there's some folks who want to delve into it, so.
And some have not.
When we have some printed,
We were hoping for Wednesday, but we're
next Wednesday, has some, okay.
But, Mr. Chairman, do you plan on having the departments come before your committee, or is that something you're just going to do selective, or what is it you're going to do?
My thought process is right now is to do some selection. Those that we really need to get into.
And you make that decision based on their preliminary budgets, percentages over
Yeah, but
increase from
I
last
want
year?
to talk, I mean, what my thought process is and what.
I just wondered what your committee's
I
thought was.
haven't talked it, well, usually the chair brings it to the committee. That's the way the budget process. Obviously, we'll have enough time. When do we have to have the preliminary or tentative?
Well, will we have a standing time you're doing it for those of us that may have conflicts in our schedule?
Yes, I want to do them on Fridays at 9:30.
And each Friday until the 15th of November?
Yeah, each Friday until we get it done. I mean, we can still have a tentative, and it can be tentative, but we still have to dive into some more. We can change things after the tentative. One of the issues I've asked Jim is there any privatization we can look at within any department? That's been the big thing that's also come to me through some committee members.
What about consolidation?
We've looked, well, they've always looked at consolidation. We've looked at, are there any positions that we can consolidate into other departments? Is there any positions that other departments can take over? So those are, there's a lot, when you're looking at positions, some of it becomes political, unfortunately, so, I've asked them to look at some of these guidelines, and ultimately we'll make that decision on how we want to approach that, so. I mean, that part is what it is. But, I've asked them to do a thorough job of really digging in deep and coming up with some ideas.
When the figures are presented to us for pickup on Wednesday, maybe we have a bullet punch list of things that they can zero in on, that you see significant, that you may change it. Thank you.
And, if the committee has any ideas on any other ways to approach it, certainly you can say it now or talk to them. This is sort of new within the last 14 years. We've usually, that I've been around, that we've usually done it. But, with these new federal things happening, I mean, we have an issue today where, because of the federal close down of, what's going to happen with some people within certain departments that might be federally and state funded, so.
They're on the county payroll, but we use grants to get them, is that what you're saying?
Pay 100% of the salary.
How many positions do we have involved in that?
Right now, it's 6.
And are you taking action on that?
Yeah, we're gonna talk later, some action.
Can we know what departments are most impacted by these things for the citizens? Well, departments, I'm not asking for the people.
Well, again, Helen, I don't mind saying it, but I really, the individuals may not even know. I don't like to do
That is
business that way.
May I have after this meeting?
Absolutely, I'll
Thank
tell
you.
you, absolutely.
Motion to adjourn?
Yep.
Bruce and Jim? All in favor?
All right.
Opposed?